Brian.
Hi.
How's it going? How's school year been?
Not too bad so far. We're a couple months in, and kids are starting to get the hang of things.
And how about your new classroom, your new STEM class?
That's actually going really well. It's my first year running it. I'm still trying to figure some stuff out, but the kids are, they're seeing this stuff for the first time as well. So we're kind of, learning together and kind of making a class work as we go.
It looked like you guys were doing some pretty cool stuff, making robots and stuff.
Yeah, today we actually had our first solar cars moving, and we were measuring to see how fast they work. And, we got a few of them working today, so it was pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Is that going to happen again? Can I come see that?
Yeah, we're going to have some more trials going on next week because the rest of our class is still catching up on finishing. We're also trying to do the same thing with hydrogen fuel cells.
Wow, that's really awesome. I'm going to come by next week.
Awesome.
So tell me what you want to talk about.
I don't know. I was just hoping to talk maybe about some of the students, maybe like one in particular that has been a bit of a struggle so far, and considering it's this early in the year, I'm hoping to try and get things working a little better for the rest of the year.
Okay. So tell me more about that.
Well, this kid seems to have a habit of not really using his time in class to work, even if I ask him to. He'll frequently try to go to the bathroom, once, maybe twice a class, spend time kind of walking around, blowing his nose, sharpening pencils, and doing pretty much anything he can to avoid working. And I think that for now he's getting okay grades, but I'm starting to notice that he is missing things that should be easy and that are coming easy to the other kids.
So do you think that his performance is not on par with what the other students are doing right now?
I do think so. Part of the problem is that I don't think that he is properly placed in the right class. I think he actually belongs in a foundations level class, but because that class is full and he registered so late in the school year, he actually got placed in a college prep class.
And that's something you've already talked to the counselor about?
Yes, and they said that because there's only 2 students overflow, and because their schedules are already full up, they can't make another class to transfer some of the foundations kids into. So we kind of have to work with what we've got, which is he's going to be in a college prep class this year.
Yeah, it does sound like we've got to make a plan to work with what we've got this year, maybe get him back on track, and maybe next year we'll be able to place him correctly. So you were saying that he's having some behaviors in the classroom, getting up to sharpen pencils. What do you think the motive is for him doing that?
Probably just avoiding doing his work. And I'm not sure if he is avoiding doing it because, it could be any number of reasons. Either he just simply doesn't want to, which is understandable. It's math and nobody likes doing math. Maybe he just wants to use the time to socialize with his peers instead. Maybe he's avoiding doing it not just because he doesn't want to, but because he doesn't understand it and doesn't want to look stupid in front of his peers. So I'm not sure if one of those is more a reason than the others.
Okay, so we have some possibilities for why he might be doing this. Could be work avoidance, could be that he finds the work too difficult, or it could be attention from his peers. So tell me what you've tried so far to get him back on track.
I've tried redirecting. He'll be sitting, and I let him talk for 1 or 2 minutes. So I'm not just constantly on him and telling him, you gotta work, you gotta work, you gotta work. But I go back and I will put myself in between his conversation, and so he's and then he kind of realizes I'm standing there, and I say, how's the work going? Have you gotten any of them done so far? Can you show me what you've got? Do you want to check your answers? Rather than kind of just simply saying, hey, you have to stop talking. I don't think he would take well to that.
Okay, so one thing that you've tried to do is give him some time to do that socialization, but then interrupt that to try to get him back on track.
Yeah, simply because of his performance and where he should be placed. I do think that oftentimes kids really benefit from having a short mental break, especially if we just finished, 20 minutes of taking notes. I can understand needing a 3-minute brain breather before you start doing your homework right away. The problem is that he takes, then a 15-minute brain breather and then that's the end of class.
Are these brain breathers something that other students have benefited from?
I think so. I tend to let the kids use their time to their best discretion, and a lot of kids will jump straight into the work. Some of them use that time to ask one another answers, and sometimes they are asking me questions about it. So, some of them I have asked before when they're not working. They say, "Oh, I just can't really work that well in this environment. I prefer to work at home." Or I always have this ritual where I do my homework, while I'm watching this TV show. It helps me think, that kind of thing. So if they have, a legitimate reason that, they would work better somewhere else, I don't mind if they choose to use that time instead to, just simply talk among themselves and their friends.
Is he doing homework outside of the class?
Pretty often. The difficult part with the homework is that I don't check every single answer, and it's I leave it up to the students to check their own answers. So if he's not checking his work, he doesn't know that he's getting the answers wrong. Maybe he thinks he's doing these problems right and doesn't need help, and then is surprised to find out that he isn't doing really well once quiz time comes around.
Have you tried anything in addition to interrupting the social time when you think that it's gone on too long?
Yes, I've actually had him come in to SAT student resource time and work with me one-on-one. And that met with some amount of success. He's always very hesitant to do that. And then once he does, the other students in the classroom tend to prove to be pretty distracting for him as well.
So it hasn't been a very successful intervention trying to get him to come
No, I wouldn't say so. I've also met with him a couple times after school, but there are some things that sometimes he'll either just forget, or sometimes he's got basketball practice, or whatever it is. Sometimes he just will only show up for a couple minutes and then has something else to do it instead.
So it sounds like maybe the couple of things that you've tried haven't been super successful. Has there been anything that you've tried that has had at least some success, even limited?
Well, like I said, I have had some success working with him one-on-one in the time that we've had. I just feel like maybe I wish there was a more quiet time in the actual school day, that I could just work with him one-on-one rather than having other students in the room with him.
And is there any time that you think we can carve out right now?
The only times I've really got are my prep and my break.
We don't want to take those from you. And it sounds like he's pretty busy after school.
Yeah,
but
he's in several sports.
There might be some days of the week that he isn't in these schools, but you're saying that maybe he forgets, so maybe that's something that we can think about, is how to encourage him to go during those times, since it seems to be helping him, that one-on-one attention. Okay, so a plan then for going forward would be to maybe look at his schedule and his sports, and find a time when he is available and when you are available, and set aside some time. And then once that time is set aside, what are some things that you think we could do to make sure that he gets to those scheduled times with you?
Well, I think one way that would really help if we're looking for a good time would be contact the coach and get a copy of their schedule. That way, I know that it's not just him saying, "Oh, I think I should be free Thursday," and then forgetting that there's practice that day. And that way I have a little bit more of a guarantee that he'll have that afternoon available.
Definitely, yeah. Working with coaches, parents, anyone that we can work with would definitely help. Do you have contact with coaches or parents or anyone?
Yes, I've talked to his dad a few times over email and as well as over the phone. and his dad does seem very interested in his success. Um, he's talked with me about when can he do this, what can he do to improve this. Um, it's just, I don't know if him and his son are on the same page. I've talked with his dad about his behavior a couple times, and his dad has been, sounding like he's gonna be pretty stern with him, saying, "Oh, he's messing around. He's not gonna be happy when he gets home." That kind of stuff. Um, but we've got to make sure that his dad's probably got to be on the same page too. That if we set up, we want to look for a half hour on Wednesday, that he knows not to show up as soon as school ends to pick him up, or else he's gonna want to bail out the door.
So yeah, definitely getting dad involved, because it seems like he does care about the success of his son. It's just maybe he's not aware that you've maybe set up this time in the past. So communicating with dad to let him know about that, communicating with the coach, as you said. So these are all great ideas. Do you feel comfortable doing both of those things?
Oh yeah, it's part of the job.
Okay, great. So maybe we can kind of set up a plan for the next week or so. You reaching out to those two parties, maybe figuring out when that time is, and seeing if that does help, and if he's able to come, and if so, is that helping him? And then we meet back in about a week or two to see how that's going. What do you think?
Okay, that sounds good. We're actually just starting basketball season, so this would probably be best possible time to get this set up early.
Yeah. All right, great. So then I'll see you in a week, and we'll check in on how those things are going.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for your time.